Your station for new and original, raw and uncut talent. Talk, politics, and music.
You, cha! Shout out Dre Teasy. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming back to Politics as Usual. I am your host, Eric Wright, here to bring you all the new topics and talk about some things that's going on in our community, giving it the black perspective, having that conversation with our people. You know, like we need to talk about it, see how we feel about it. Now, we're about 3 episodes in, and the first 2 episodes, I went over a couple things that happened. Let me give you some updates. So, remember that story about Decatur, Alabama, and Stephen Perkins, the guy that was supposed to be late on his car payment, and they came to repossess it, but he wasn't late, and the guy that came out, and I guess he had a flashlight, who knows, and the police was there, and they shot him. They shot at him 15 times, of course, striking him, killing him. And I told you about the ring camera information from the neighborhood that showed that he came out compliant. Now, let me give you the update since then. So, since then, because this story has went national now. So, it's not just in Decatur or just in Alabama. It's national now. Everybody is reporting on it. So, the mayor of Decatur released a statement apologizing for how the coverage of the incident happened and the statements that they made up into that. The chief of police also apologized for not being forthcoming with certain information and how slow it was for the family to receive the body cam footage, which actually now the family finally has access to the body cam footage. Also, we've learned that from the time Mr. Perkins came outside and put his hands up, he was shot within 90 seconds. Yes, 90 seconds. He was shot within 90 seconds of coming outside. And yes, you can hear police officers say he got a gun. There still hasn't been any report of any firearm or anything. So, just give you the updates on that. My people are going through it in Decatur, Alabama. This man has a family. This is a black man. This is one of our people. Make sure that you tweet, text, or just send up a smoke signal for the brother. You know, he's one of ours. We went across the country and marched and did all kind of things for George Floyd, and he probably was 20 states away. There's somebody that's an hour and a half away from you, probably. You know, so keep them in mind. Keep the Perkins family in mind. We're going to keep them lifted up. Now, speaking of lifting people up, last week I shed a little light on the conflict between Israel and Gaza, or Israel and the Palestinian people. We told you about that. It was old beef. Old beef so old, it's over 100 years. You know, things have been going on there back and forth, and everybody's been there. From the Ottoman Empire, remember I told you that, the English was there, the Egyptians was there, you know. Then once Israel was made a state, they had that occupation there, the Israeli soldiers removing people from their property, putting up settlements and things like that, shrinking the Palestinian people into a small area called Gaza. Of course, we know the group Hamas been linked to terrorist acts in the past, shot rockets at Israel, and they returned fire. But not only did they return fire, they returned a lot of fire. Wow. And I've been seeing videos and everything, like gruesome stuff, just to give you the updates on what's going on with their conflict. As of right now, you have about roughly about over 1 million people. Over 1 million people have been displaced from the Gaza area over the last 10 days. That's like a mass exodus of people. You know, over 200 people killed. Hundreds of people hurt. over 500,000 pregnant women that were in hospitals have been displaced from the hospitals. Even hospitals been blown up. And still to this day, there's still 199 Israelis being held captive by Hamas. If you ask me, Hamas probably need to get those people back, and let's hope for a ceasefire. It's unfortunate that for anybody to die, but to see so many innocent lives being taken, like, when is enough? Like, if we look at it, I almost compare this shit to, and I'm gonna go biblical on you now. Bear with me. So everybody know the story of Moses. Moses led the people out of the wilderness, and they left Egypt and all that part of the Red Sea. But the promised land that he told the people about, he couldn't go to the promised land. Someone else had to lead the people to the promised land. Now, that person, I think it was Joshua. Yeah, I think it was Joshua that led the people to the promised land. Anyway, that concept of the promised land, they went into an area that they said that was promised to them by God, and they took over the area. Took over the area, I mean, they eradicated whoever was there and kicked them out. That's mass genocide. I always had an issue with that reading in the Bible. I love certain stories, but that never sat good with me to think that a God that I'm supposed to serve would be okay with strangers coming to a city and making everybody leave because they don't live, worship, or look like them. That's like, I'm in Montgomery, Alabama. That's like everybody from Birmingham say Montgomery is the promised land, and they drive down the Highway 65 and shoot, kill, and push everybody out of their homes and make everybody go south. Yeah, that's genocide by any other words. And I don't get down with that. Like, in my heart of hearts, I don't agree with that. I don't know how you feel about that, but in my eyes, that's genocide. And it's so similar to what we see that's going on with Israel and Gaza. Of course, protect yourself. I know certain powers have to show a certain sense of power, but to use words like eradicate, level, things like that, that means scorched earth. You don't want anybody to survive, and I can't get down with that kind of colonization, racism type shit. That's what it say to me, but to you it may be something else. But to me, that's kind of what it screams, So hopefully they'll cease fire and we can get some humanitarian aid down there, to kind of help the people out on both sides, because it has to be crazy on the person's mind. And to think that people can be normal after something like that happened, probably not. So I just wanted to catch you up on that. I know I went about it the long way, but I had to get it out there. Just to throw this out real quick, all books that's written by me, Eric Wright, is on Amazon. I have 3 children books out right now. The Zakush series, it starts with the first book, When God Smiles. We have the second book, My Brother's Keeper. And the third book, Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. So if you have a black son, or you have a son and you're interested in him reading stories of people that look like him and stories that may relate, that may be a great thing for you, and they're very affordable. And if you can't afford it, hit me up and I'll probably send you one for free anyway, because it's about getting the message out there. Alright, back to the topics. Since we in Alabama, there's something that's going on that I know you probably heard some about it, but let's talk about it real quick. So right now in Alabama, there's a bit of construction going on, and it's for the most expensive prison in the United States. And that's happening right here in Alabama, and it's going to be in Elmore County. Elmore County is the place for the newest and the biggest $1.8 billion prison. say this prison facility is supposed to have vocational training, and also it's supposed to have a medical care unit there too. So I guess the prisoners there would be able to kind of get their life back on track and get some kind of trade or something like that. They're probably gonna make a whole bunch of shit for free and charge the government and everybody else 3 times as much as it costs to make them. It's free labor, but when you go to prison, you know you're a damn slave anyway, so you really can't complain. But keep that in mind. But we are about to have the most expensive prison in the United States. $1.8 million for 4,000 beds. 4,000 beds. Now, other states is not going to be outdone now just because Alabama just happened to have the most expensive one. Other states ain't going to be outdone. You got Nebraska right now. They're building a $350 million 1,500 bed facility right now in Nebraska. But Georgia, our neighbors, yeah, you know it's a lot of scammers in Georgia. Well, particularly Atlanta. They scam their ass off. You know, so they got to house them people somewhere once they catch their ass. All y'all niggas with the PPP loans, all that. They about to make a place for you now. They not building these for no reason. But Georgia is about to build a 4,500 bed prison. And it's going to cost them $1.69 billion. They have a prison. It's pretty big too, but it's beyond repair. So the prison in Alabama, it should be up by 2025. So if you see a whole bunch of people being rounded up, you know, Jump Street come out. I don't know what they call it in your area, but you know, when the SWAT team type officers come out kicking down doors and dragging people out, you're probably going to see a lot of that coming up, because if you spend $1 billion on a prison facility, you intend to put people in there. You know, they say they estimate how many beds to build based on literacy rates of 2nd and 3rd graders. And it's places in Alabama, the literacy rate, oh my God, the amount of kids, we're almost at 1% of kids that are actually reading themselves or taking the initiative to read themselves. There's some places that's very low here. So education is always the key, and the key deterrent from your kids going to one of these prisons. So if you got a knucklehead that's playing these video games and can barely read Cat in the Hat, one of them beds might be for them, you know. And when that does happen, you can't blame nobody but yourself. You know what I mean? Parents got to be involved in their kids' life. This politics as usual. You know, if you can't see through the bullshit, you always get fooled. Everything is politics as usual. Keep your head on the swivel.